What's going on, everyone? And hello, Nihon. This is a podcast where I myself, Ehab, talk about Japan. So, guys, ever since you came to Japan, how's your English? Is it getting worse or better? No more. And why would you say that? Since I came to Japan, I feel the same way, Christian. The amount of English being used is definitely less than when I was in America, and the level of English in which I speak now is different as well because we have to speak a little easier in a way that easier for people here to understand. So you can't really use as much complex English as I'd like to with with you guys. It's just very interesting to see the change in dynamic and environment compared to coming from America to Japan and how much English we can actually use now. Well, what about you, Clayton? Really? And you didn't have that back in the States? What? Interesting. It does. We- No, I feel you because when came to Japan and I saw in the textbooks, the English textbooks, they say whenever you want to ask, how are you doing, you just say, how are you? I'm fine, and you? And we don't really speak like that as native speakers, but even though I know that, living here in Japan over the years, it's becoming more normal or more natural in my mind to use that phrase because it's so predominant here. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I feel like what can be confusing as well. I don't know if you guys ever have this experience where in the class you try to say like what day is it and then what's the date because date and day sound like each other, so it's hard for them to differentiate between the two. So that's another thing that's a little hard for them here. It sounds like a game show. Yeah. I mean, for us, like I'd say all three of us, we've been in, Japanese language classes, back in university, and I feel like the Japanese we learned, yeah, it was at the almost, I wouldn't say the exact same level, but there were some things that were very similar to what they learn in Japan, like in English, like the very basic Japanese was very similar to the very basic English they learn, but I feel like the Japanese we learned was actually some terms that they use in natural conversations, but yeah, I can see how in textbooks, maybe it's something around the world where the language that's being taught is not very used in common expressions in daily lives. Oh yeah. Oh, I see. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think you bring up a good point because this comes in hand with why Japanese people don't really speak as much English as maybe people expect coming to Japan. They're focused on the grades. They're focused on being correct, or they don't want to be incorrect. So they kind of shy away from speaking English when an opportunity arises with a native speaker, because if they make a mistake, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's just something that it's kind of looked down upon. Like you shouldn't make so many mistakes, and I don't really like that. I want them to be able to make mistakes. You're learning a language, and I mean even us when we were learning Japanese, we made a lot of mistakes, and it's very important to try different things, try speaking the language as much as you can, and I feel like you will improve like that. But it's unfortunate that they have this incorrect. It's because they see that incorrect being a big deal. They kind of shy away from speaking English, unfortunately. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. But yeah, it's like when it comes to English, I mean, we can all agree it's not an easy language to learn. Like, uh, yeah, even though it's pretty difficult, they can still read and write. I would say pretty fine. Like by the time they're college students in Japan, most can read and write fine, from what I've seen. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like I noticed like when I'm going around the city, I can see signs. Some signs are even in English, or some signs are only in Japanese. But it makes me wonder, like, okay, there's some signs in English. Do Japanese people actually know how to read it? And I feel like most would be able to read it. And then there's other parts of Japan that are so rural, like Clayton, right? Do you see any English signs over there? Yeah. Okay. What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. Are you serious? How do you? What did they forget the C or something? Oh my god! Sprat bucks. Uh, even that that would be hilarious. I'm going to the Strat bucks, guys. But like to show you how much English is like even difficult for Japanese people, even like Baskin Robbins, like you'll see the sign, it's written fine, but in the middle, the B and the R, they made a three and a one out of the three out of the B and a one out of the R. So people only see the 31, so they just call it 31, and they don't even know the name of the actual ice cream shop. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Staba. That's true. I wonder if there's one for Burger King. Barking. Never had it. I will, can in a KFC they just say Kentucky, right? by... I forgot English.